Right, just to recap people on the situation, yeah, of people being called out. I'd like to clarify to everyone out there that the people who were originally caught out are no longer in that much trouble, really. They've got out of it by blame shifting onto a consciousness that exists within humanity or society. Yeah, every single person has a bit of this in them. Yeah, some more than others. Some are committed to it, and some can only live by it. This mindset. The emails and comments that were made on videos in the past that I did clarified this to people who were basically talking shit, really. They were just chatting shit, and it must have been like saying to people, don't look at his stuff, it's all bollocks, or something like this, you know, because I didn't get much in the way of help or backup from anyone, really. So when these people commented on my videos and sent emails to a group email that I was part of the group of, to let them know that what I was on about was actually of significance and worth and value, and was serious too, really quite serious. Let me just read one of these emails out, yeah? This is from 2018. Thursday the 22nd of November 2018. Hi Si, I meant to tell you that coincidentally I'm not being physically invaded anymore by Dexter. At least not the past 2 days. You see, I did not tell you that I was the initiator in wanting to experience his psychic powers. It was not wise for me to have done that. I've tried all kinds of healers and psychics over the past 2 years to try to get help. The only real help I've been getting is from praying to God, asking for forgiveness for being the initiator, and asking Jesus to help me. I do know that this is very easy to become fascinated by and attached to a person like Dexter. Maybe that is something we have in common. And then she got a reply, not off me, by the way. She might have thought it was me, but the person who replied was obviously another member of this group, yeah. And there's only like four people in this group who she sent the email to. They emailed back, let's Skype, because they knew that these people don't Skype. So it was kind of like put them on the spot. This is what like kind of deluded me into thinking that these so-called friends of mine were kind of on my side. Let's Skype. Dear sir, I can't tell if this is an error message or it's a genuine message from you. Pretty good intuition there, I guess. because it wasn't from me. I did not say let's Skype, even though I probably could have, you know. It would have been probably what I would have said, yeah. But that's how, again, this is like, what the heck? In any case, I hope you're getting along without being in touch with Luhan/Dexter. He has actually been physically torturing me for 2 years. He's not mentally well, and I believe may be possessed by demons. I'm very sad to say. Sincerely, Christina. Now, this is Christina Eisenhower. She got sent a message back from not me, and this is quite cool, this message. Again, this would make a person think, like me, that this person's on my side, as in kind of understands what I'm going through or what I went through. Anyway, they wrote, it's quite poetic, this is. Right, brace yourselves, people. You won't remember this, but we are the ones who taught you the secret of forgetting. ... Proceedings are undertaken. We have been in touch. No further communication required. We will have been in touch. ... The vision ahead. A force of raging wildfire. From then we were free. CFT. That's Cerberus Future Technologies. Sent using hash mails. Yeah, well, that wasn't me that wrote that, by the way, Christina. But again, this kind of like would lead me to believe that this person's on my side, yeah, who wrote that. And bear in mind, that was 2018. That was like 2 years before the paint attack. Anyway, she sent one back then after that, saying, "Dear Si, I wrote you a few days ago about Dexter because I don't like to see relationships fall apart." Alright, you wrote me and said he was torturing you. Or do you think I've just forgotten about that? It's like literally, alright, yeah, 10 days later, 2 weeks later this week. I did not write anything negative about Dexter and still won't. Are you sure? That's not what the emails indicate beforehand. It's a Confuciatron tactic. It's this confusing, they'll say one thing in one email and completely different things in another. So they were saying like that they hate Dexter, they would think about like killing themselves or killing him, and then say stuff like, but he's such a nice person, blah blah blah, and kind of like protect him, sort of thing. So let's carry on with this, man. Sec. I did want to say one other thing, and that is that I've been helped mostly by praying to God. Again, that reminded me of this. Having faith in Jesus Christ. Dexter mentions being connected to Jesus, and I believe him. Many people have been or are angry at God and Jesus for the suffering they have endured themselves, and also witnessed in others. I'm included in that group. Even so, it is due to one friend of mine who would sometimes talk about Jesus to me and offer to pray for me, which made me rethink Jesus. Because of that, Jesus has healed me and helped me many times, and I can say that it was through finding Dexter that I found my way back to Jesus and his love. Maybe that is true for you too, and I have a feeling that is the case. Sincerely, Christina. That was 28th of the 10th of October, yeah, 2018. And then, nearly a year later, another email sent directly to the group email, Service Switch Technologies, which kind of backs everything up I was saying, yeah. 2019, August 11th. I also want to say that Dexter inspired me too. And inspired you too. It didn't really inspire me, so I don't know who else got inspired, but alright then. I'll still run with this. He taught me more than almost anyone I've met in this life, and I owe him so much gratitude. He's an amazing person. But I just think he has powers that have hurt me. I had to post on your channel about what he is doing to me in order to get protection. But I do not want anything bad to happen to him. I know he gets very lonely sometimes, but is too proud to say so. I would do anything for him if I could. Same for you, because I know you're a sincere person, and Dexter is a sincere good person too. Please take care of yourself, and if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. Christina. She even wrote love in capitals. That's going to copy me. A reply on a video by Christina too. This was September the 14th, 2019. Hi Si, I'm sorry to see you having a bit of a bad day. Loving oneself is the answer to every problem. I am trying to do that, but if you will pardon me, I need to post in response to a much earlier video you did expressing your anger. Dexter continues to remote view me. I think about driving off a cliff several times a day because of it. So you live near a cliff then. And when I first found his website, he insulted me immediately. But I was a coward, and I thought I needed his help. In time from viewing his blog, I saw the picture he posted inside of his cabin. This caused me to feel very sorry for him, so I began showing him sympathy. All the while he tried to make me feel like I was insincere. I walked into a trap that has become a nightmare because Dexter is nothing like he presents himself. He lives a lonely life of constant terror, and he's using my desire to help him to torture me because he is too much of a coward to speak to any humans. The demons he works with have poisoned his mind and made him a mess. Alright. I feel my... This one was September the 3rd, 2019, yeah? Christina Eisenhower again. I feel my reasons for posting on your channel were made clear. Dexter was remote viewing me. Remote viewing me. Again, remote viewing me. And I was asking for help. I appreciated that you understood this was real, as 99% of the population don't even know what remote viewing is. Given that, my desire and wish was for someone to take a stand, but also not vilify Dexter. And since you've known him for years, I hoped you would set aside your grievances with him and contact him. We are all in this together, in this thing called life, and we have all come from Source. But we also each have our own individual paths. Many parts of your last video contained name-calling and insults to Andrea. I tried to acknowledge you had painful feelings and you were trying to work through, but you do not acknowledge this. Someone who name-calls another, for whatever reason, is cursing that person and is an attack. I work and deal with people on a daily basis, and while yes, the deeper story on this planet is mind-blowing, society still functions on basic principles of treating others with respect and decency and solving conflicts in sincere way. Do they? Well, must be a different reality you're living in now. Name-calling and character assassination are not sincere attempts to solve a problem. And I'm not comfortable with communicating with someone who cannot adhere to some basic principles of how to talk and communicate with and about other people. And yes, I became extremely angry, and I've been very scared from being remote viewed all this time, and got to the point of wanting to commit suicide. On the flip side of that, I've felt the anger go from being angry at myself for getting into this situation, being so angry at Dexter. I wanted him to feel what he has put me through. But the bottom line is I find your rants and name-calling scary. And since God Source has shown mercy on me and given me protection, I don't have to try to communicate with you anymore, because I do not feel you have others' best interests at heart. Fair enough. And then I did a reply to say that that's all they did was name call. So I was like mirroring them, and she did actually acknowledge this. Christine Eisenhower, I have also begun having severe chest pains from the stress, but can't afford to go to the doctor. If you or anyone reading this, I would be so grateful for your prayers, and also if anyone who understands the power of the dark side. Even though you don't know me, it would mean a lot of someone to back me up, as Dexter is surely watching Sai's videos. Thank you. Okay. Another one on September the 14th. Oh man, I'm sorry, Christina Eisenhower. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear you had these pains too, but glad you don't anymore. Yes, I do understand how difficult the process has been for you. Dexter is not all bad, and he is very loving. He has a very loving side, and I'm sure that combined with the massive self-confidence he displays, made him an attractive friend. I will honestly say I fell in love with him, but our temperaments are too different. I abhor cruelty in any form, and do not understand how a person can be so pushed to the point of realization through. But he has created a life of war, and I would rather die than interact on a daily basis with someone who gets fired up about warring. I love peace more than anything. Thank you for everything. Okay. Sorry, the other one, this is the continuation of it. The demons he works with have poisoned his mind and made him in this. That was it on the other email, but it was part of the word misogynist. Made him a misogynist with no true empathy. You mentioned once his terrible breath. I didn't mention Dexter's terrible breath. Someone else's, who you might know or look up to. I don't know. I'm sure you all must know this person by the name of LRH. Yeah, you know him. I too have smelled it when I encountered him in the astral. This comes from thinking dark thoughts. I think she missed out the K there. K is an 11 in it. That's an angel number in it. Yeah. Dark thoughts. I think that if I was a Scientologist, I would mean dark. What does that mean? It means nothing to me. I couldn't actually work out that it was dark. You know. This is how pathetic they can go. Yeah. They can. When I say refs, as in short for references, what refs mean? Wasting time. I too smell it right now. This comes from thinking dark thoughts. I always tried to focus on the heroic aspect of him rescuing people from demons. But in truth, I now see something went terribly wrong because he actively looks for beings so he can kill them. I didn't really believe this was real, but now I know it is. I'm repulsed and horrified by Dexter at all. I've begged him to leave me alone, but he is just put all this in one word, is so arrogant, all one word, and cruel. He won't stop. Meeting him was the worst moment of my life because I became fascinated with his intellect. And even though I saw he was weird and dark, I naively believed he worked with God. I believe God is helping him, but he still is a faker and a pathetic liar who has no problem with the suffering he causes me. He is disgusting and is a slave to the Black Sun Reptilian Collective. This is no joke. And this happened to some serious mistake he made. And he would gladly see a person like me live in despair from being constantly violated rather than come down for his arrogant pedestal, from his arrogant pedestal, I guess. She didn't like Trek it, I guess, she probably sent. That the negative aliens have built for him. I guess that kind of proves it's not AI. I apologise if this is upsetting and for hijacking your thread. Right. You shouldn't be at Dexter. What do you mean be at Dexter? He deserves all our pity for falling into the hands of negative aliens, because that is the bottom line truth of what has happened. And he would rather someone like me commit suicide than accept he's actually living in terror. And that is the reason he won't leave me alone. Now, didn't you say that you never wrote anything bad about Dexter? Alright, this is the follow-up from the name calling thing. I feel what you're saying. I had a similar experience with Dexter. He called me names at the very beginning, and looking back, I should have never have spoken to him again. But I was being attacked, and I needed his help. He also, I believe, used that knowledge against me. He knew I needed his help, so he felt free to verbally, mentally, and psychologically abuse me. I should have had faith that God's source would help me, but I'm sorry to say that at that time I didn't. So I allowed myself to be abused by Dexter until I completely lost myself. And then he started remote viewing. And in defense, I began verbally abusing him in my emails to him because I couldn't believe that he would not stop remote viewing me when I asked him to do so. So, now that you explain, I understand. When someone treats you disrespectfully, you should just walk away. Somehow both these people messed with our minds. She's talking about Andrea as well, and Dexter. Till we snapped. I learned my lesson, that God's source will help one, but first one has to get away from people who treat one badly. And sometimes God's source has to give us the courage to get away before anything better can come into one's life. So that was like an understanding of what the name calling, sort of thing. She mentions the S word here. You raised some very good questions. This is Christine Hayes and how 2019 anyway. I was not aware of this until seeing your video. I agree. If I was accused of a crime I did not commit, I would go to great lengths to prove my innocence. Another good point you raise is the paranoia of the people who run Scientology. So even if he did not rape anyone, the fact he has been compromised by a lifetime of being in Scientology means that there could be forces which could cause the blood samples to be tampered with, because he likely has so many enemies by now. Talking about David Miscavige, yeah. Something I have always thought is that no one would accuse someone of rape if it weren't true, because why would someone want to bring all that negative attention on themselves? A person would have to have a lot of trauma from other events to falsely accuse another. These kind of situations are a big mess, very tricky situation, and you touch on all the salient points regarding this. I hope the truth comes out. Yes, you mentioned about the backstabbing thing as well. Sometimes you get video clips on my YouTube feed that seems to somehow refer to current situations in my life. After I wrote you recently, I got a clip from Gangs of New York, a movie I've never seen. It was a clip of Billy the Butcher throwing an axe into a man's back. I wonder what that might be referring to. She spelled referring, full word, referring to. Yeah. Like Wendy Moran does mention this backstabbing thing as well, because they actually all saw this happen. They kind of all set it up, so that would be backstab, yeah, by my friends. Christine Eisenhower, so look, 3rd of September 2019. All these comments, by the way, on these videos, which should have clarified to people that I was on about something true, yeah. Just the clarification, and also the direct emails as well, to the group email, long before the paint attack. And funny how they all forget about these, isn't it? So, lucky I printed them out, lucky if it costs anything. I've corresponded with Andrea before. I've contacted him before when I was not getting protection. I'm sure I overwhelmed him with my problem, but he's very supportive to me and gave me encouragement. I feel we all have seasons in our lives. Sometimes we are in the dark season and people can be there for us, and unfortunately sometimes the people we want to be there for us aren't, or can't give us what we need. With my past affiliation with people in co-counselling, I became very bonded to my teachers and mentors, and when I stopped participating, I went through many years of grieving and trying to make sense of what happened. I wish I had an easy answer for you, but I can only say I'm sorry for your pain and disappointment. It is a process and a journey of grieving lost or changed relationships. I wish there was a way to do it without feeling the pain, which is what I sense you are feeling. It's kind of more of a... I could see they were just taking the piss, really, and they were laughing about it. And obviously trying to make a person really paranoid. That was their main intention, is to try and label someone up as psychotic, or make someone snap until they could be branded psychotic, or have a mental illness to normal people around them. And that's what they did. That's what their whole agenda was. Another one. I apologize if I came across as a know-it-all in my prior posts, as that was not my intention at all. I also respect your caution, RE, Scientology, and Dianetics. I suppose the only thing that we can prove I have no ill intention towards you is time. What is most important to remember about Dexter is he works with demons, and this is against God's source. You are right. It is totally illegal because of this. Right, just putting it in someone's head that they're being remote viewed, right, whether people want to believe this or not, right, it kind of like pollutes a person's mind, yeah, especially when they get like weird emails to confirm that they were being remote viewed too, like telling them what they did that day, letting them know even they need anything. How the heck are they doing that? Are they like tapping into my phone or something? Even that would be illegal. wouldn't it? But, you know, people know, you just tap into your phone. Yeah, but that's fucking illegal then, isn't it? It's put in someone's head that they're being watched. That's fucking illegal. It kind of pollutes a person's mind. How do you get out of this? People didn't get it, did they? You're right, this is totally illegal. Because of this. This is July 22nd, 2019, yeah? The healers I saw most recently have expressed anger at me because they do not understand how serious this is. Oh shit. They've compared him to Oppenheimer. Brackets, the physicist who created the atomic bomb which killed over 100,000 people, close brackets. Dexter presents himself as this great guy who rescues people from demons, but he promotes fear on his website and Armageddon scenarios, which is part of the negative alien agenda, to keep us in fear and easy to control. I respect that you are a kind-hearted person who does not want to harm anyone. I'm the same, but Dexter knows what he's doing and he's harming me, but still continues to do so. So, there's another person whether she was being remote viewed or not, I'm not sure, right, because perhaps she was, right, but if she was or wasn't, it doesn't really matter. It's another person claiming this. So it's confirmation, yeah, to people out there. Please understand this, because this is really important now, yeah. You know, when I say it's really important, people just laugh, it's important. Yeah, it is, and if you don't know why it's not important, then fuck off, yeah. Yep. I respect that you are a kind of... I'm the same, but Dexter knows what he's doing, and he's harming me, but still continues to do it. I don't know for sure, but I think terrible things happen to him, which cause him to feel deep resentment and a desire for revenge. This put him into a very bad situation I feel he is perhaps trapped in, but he could get out of it by stopping what he's doing and focusing on positive relationships instead of his personal war against demons and negative ETs. Also, many demons pose as aliens, as well as spirit guides, angels, wizards, and so forth. Dimension. He didn't put dimension in there, he said so forth. I put the word dimension in there. Just slow people, slow learners. Also, many demons. Oh, sorry, I've done that one. So he knows who he's in contact with in all his astral experiences. But all he has to do is make a choice and stop focusing. That's another one, like August 29th, 2019. It's all sent to Cerberus email, yeah? The emails which do more than actually qualify or back any reason why I went vocal on this up to the simplest of minds, really does. Now how they could dismiss these and ignore them, shut down the whole email thing. Lucky enough, I got forwarded these emails before the email thing got shut down. It must have been a point where Loveday said, "Oh, we gotta shut this email down because too many emails are coming through from other people backing him up. Oh shit, oh shit, he was telling the truth. We don't want people to know that he was telling the truth." Shit. Literally like that. Dexter helped me in the past, but I'm grateful. But he's harming me so much now. I'm living in my car in a new strange city where I came to get help from healers, but they can't make him stop. Someone has to convince him to stop. Do you think you could? This was like 29th of August 2019. I thought I was being guided to do a Skype chat with you, but now I'm not sure. Dexter and all his beings he has around him are calling me to me again and basically torturing me. Anything that was once good about me has now been destroyed because now I understand how a person can kill. If he was standing before me and I was still feeling what I'm feeling now with all the coding and energetic interference, and if I had a gun, I would shoot him. So this is a death threat, I guess. Yeah? I'm at my lowest point and do not know what is going to happen to me. All I can do now is pray. Wishing you well, Christina. Okay, so I got there's tons of these emails, tons. Here's another one, July the 20th, 2019. So this was a new reply on a video. I'm sorry for what going through. I too have been stalked by Dexter Ator Luhan. I've been told by healers he's a black magician who was aligned with dark forces and stalked me for 5 years and totally destroyed my life. Oh, snap. At that point, yeah, I was like, oh, pretty similar to what he's done. July the 20th, another comment that people should have paid attention to, yeah? Some people should have fucking realised, but didn't. Well, they probably did, but they thought, oh shit, they're posting on these videos now, oh shit. What are you gonna do? Oh shit, he was right. Oh no. This is how pathetic and shit it is. These so-called friends, these backstabbers. Thank you for your kind words. This is Christina Eisenhower again. I believe with Dexter that he has something terrible happened to him in this carnation, or one prior, that caused him trauma he was not able to heal. I feel he suffered a lot and chooses to suffer willingly as an act of purification. I was trained as a counsellor. Dialectic counsellor, yeah? And thought I could help him. I offered to do so, but instead of talking to me, he has RV'd me. That means remote viewed me all these years. I do not think he is AI, because I did say that he possibly AI, because he never showed his face, but I know he wasn't, because he fucked up too many times. And plus AI wasn't that really out that much back then. It wasn't really the thing, was it? But I do know that if we have constant negative thoughts, fear and anger or revenge, we become vulnerable for takeover and infection by the AI virus. As mentioned, I feel he willingly suffers and has achieved powers partly through this. Brackets, but powers from where? Close brackets. But because he is in personal war with the negative ETs, he is vulnerable to AI possession. What has happened on Earth with the negative alien invasion is truly horrific. But as you always post in your videos, capital letters, love is the only antidote. Indulging in thoughts of anger and revenge put us in the bandwidth of AI. Strange that, because AI is funny enough, has kind of worked out that you're all bullshitters. Yeah. So this was 2019, so 4 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, so you just mentioned the S word, the Scientology word, yeah, a few times. Oh, it's a classic, this one. Another one, Cerberus, yeah. DSI, it's like 16th of August, 2009. They were getting all these emails in, before the time limit, yeah, to basically blame shift onto the people I had around me. Yeah. And it's very simple to see this. Even to people who don't believe in ETs or the alien agenda or anything like this, it doesn't really matter. It's not. People shouldn't get hung up on that stuff, because that's thrown in just to throw people off. Yeah. It's not all fucking aliens. Yeah, don't believe in them. Yeah. Alright, okay. So that's the cloak things in this mask. I was thinking about your recent YouTube video and wanted to say something more, but didn't want to fill up your comment section. That's like a little bit of a piss take there, because I don't get any comments unless they're off free zoners and stuff like that. I think it's good to be aware of what is happening in the world, and I definitely understand your interest in Scientology. Interest. Okay. But something came into my mind, and it was a memory of when I began my healing journey. I struggled with depression, and still do. I think that I may have Asperger's. So you just tick that box then. So are you kind of like using that one? That's good. When I found my first mentor, all I could think about was the problems in my family. I felt responsible for their problems, and nothing my mentor did could stop me from focusing on my family. However, over time I was able to talk about how I felt about daily events of my life, brackets, which you do in your videos, and which I think is great, close brackets. And more, when I focused on how I felt, I began a process of grieving traumas in my family, and little by little I began to feel just a little bit better, and was able to keep going in life and having hope for the future. My deepest wish is that you will also see how wonderful you are, and that you could find time each day to love and appreciate yourself. Not only for the good you do, like brackets, like making videos. Thank you so much, Christina. So kind. But simply because you exist. We all come from God's source, which makes us part of God. And I hope you have a good day, and send you all my best wishes. And as you say, love. Capital letters. Christina. Okay, this is another one. It's kind of like backs up another thing as well. 20th century 11. It was a total hubris of me. I'm not quite sure of that word. Call me stupid, but hubris. I'm not sure. To offer him, I get that's like a bit of like a wrong thing to do, I guess, or fuck up to do. I was taught counselling techniques from a much milder and benign group that was started by someone who was associated with Dianetics. Brackets, Scientology, precursor. I wonder who that was. Maybe that person with that awful breath, which wasn't Dexter, wasn't referring to Dexter. It took me many years to discover that although the group I was associated with had good information, it was also hijacked by the negative ETs. And I was taught not to be afraid of those with high ego, like Dexter. But see now that it is very risky to allow someone with high ego to get to know you. Things are not good for me right now in my physical existence, but I will consider doing a live chat at some point, and thank you for the invitation to do so. I didn't invite you. It was someone else did that. It didn't tell me for weeks. So it's 27th of August. Like you, Si, for noticing, I'm not saying negative things about your channel. I am discovering that I have pretty much zero control over what other people think and do. Yeah. That's a biggie. I've heard the way to happiness is do what comes naturally to us, because... Oh, she spelled because. B-C-U-Z. Because that's pretty snazzy. Pretty new age. You wouldn't really expect that from a Dianetic counsellor, really. Because they're taught to usually spell words right. That is usually what brings us the most fulfillment. A clue to this is remembering what we loved to do as children. I notice you are very artistically creative and musically talented. I hope you will continue to exercise your creative talents. All the best to you. And then one last one here. I cannot convey, it's Christina Eisenhower again. I cannot convey in words what it's like to be remote viewed, but I can try. It is like having another person live inside your body. I feel how much Dexter suffers, but I've been completely unable to convey to him that I care deeply about his suffering, that I have noticed it in the very beginning and was the reason why I reached out to him. But he was so mistrustful that I tried harder and harder to show I cared, but nothing ever worked. I worry about him committing suicide. All that has happened in these 5 years is me feeling his emotions of pain, and my writing him. Why did I say my writing? Why did I miss out the word to? Writing him, writing to him, writing him. That's an Americanism, yeah, I guess. Writing him to offer support. I recently wrote to me. Yeah? Anyway, I shouldn't get sidetracked by that. He has never replied in all these years. I've never felt so helpless and hopeless because he has decided no one can understand or care about him, even though I've been feeling what he feels for 5 years. If you know Dexter and care about him, please reach out to him. I can't believe it has come to this. Teal Swan has just posted a video about suicide. That was in 1999. That's 2019. 99. Okay, yeah. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of emails, but they all picked up what I originally was going on about. And it's shameful that people have done this. So, yeah, all these people like Christina and Dexter and all those free zoners and the people, involved with that secret society, that sci-fi secret society, you know the one, yeah. They don't have to worry either. Like they've done enough. They've done a pretty good job actually of blame shifting onto people around me. Yeah. Yeah, they've done a really good job of that, and they showed them up as well. How much a person could ignore these is incredible, really. They must be like so spiritually void or emotionally void or ignorant, narcissistic. Well, it takes narcissism to a new level. Really, it does. It's like it's a blend of all the nasty traits, really, human beings, to keep anything like this in suspension, because these are actual statements that clarify